Hello, and welcome to the Movie Test of Time, a podcast about revisiting our youth through the only medium that matters, the movies. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your futuristic, invasive hosts. Joining me, as always, is our other futuristic and invasive host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
Uh, what's the crack? So Mike's out of town. Everyone loves hearing me start the week this way. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like get healthy,
Okay. I love
and
it.
usually it's like when I have time to think about things, like, I got a buddy like all day, like, he'll be in meetings or whatever, but like, we'll take walks together. But like, we set up the whole gym in the garage and I haven't been using it. And it's the holidays and I'm snacking and we're heading out of town and going to Maria, which, I'm gonna have to wear a bathing suit. I'm just like, I'm kind of like getting middle-aged body,
Okay.
right? I'm 46, and it's just like things are happening, and I'm just kind of like, what the? I used to be able to eat that or drink that, and like it wouldn't have any consequence, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
everything is a consequence.
Yeah,
And
I hear you.
so I'm just kind of like in this space of like, I want to take better care of myself. But I don't have the energy.
Sure.
Um, I'm getting stem cells next week, so I'm excited for that.
hmm
Um, I also I remember so I did the sleep training. It was very hard, and I was like, it's really hard to only sleep for 6 hours a night, and not nap. And also like try and do that without being able to be in your bed, but where can you be? But the living room, which if there's I still have the mom magnet. So if I'm anywhere I am, the children
hmm
are there. So like yesterday I was trying to take a shit and literally both of them came and knocked on the door. And I'm like, can I just like usually I'll be like, whatever, yeah, like, do you have a question? But Harper wanted like Charles was like, look at this book with these cute guinea pigs. And I'm like, can't I just take a shit? And then Harper was like, look at this cute book of these cute something else's. They're like, I made this clay thing. And I was like, just let me shit. I'd shut the door. Let me shit. So all to say, I bought a chair. I spent $700 on this chair for my bedroom so that I can sit next to my bed, but not sit in my bed. And I have a door I can shut, and I will start sleep training when I come back into the States after the new year.
I think like yeah, you need to ease into that as well because it's like
Yeah,
it's a big ask. So I mean, like yeah, I think
it's
yeah,
a lot.
do it when you have the time to probably commit a lengthy
I
period
don't
of
right
time to it
now.
as well. Exactly,
I don't.
and that's
I don't.
smart. I think recognizing that's good as well. You know,
Yeah.
you can't put your life on hold for this, but it's
I'm
good
gonna,
to get
yeah.
to it when you can.
I love my chair so fucking much. It's a recliner, but it looks like, I don't know, it's like half egg chair, half recliner, but I didn't want to like get a real like lazy boy recliner, because like I didn't want to look like I've, given up on life or whatever. So I got this super sweet teal comfortable chair that reclines.
hmm
Uh, I can't sit in it yet though, because the children are just like, can I sit in your chair? Can I sit in your chair? Can I sit in your chair? And I'm like, okay, go. Yeah, sure. So, anyways,
It's new and shiny, and it's like
this is like the
woohoo.
most boring update ever, but I just
I
love my
like
fucking
it.
chair so much.
Hey,
Furniture. I feel grown up.
it's nice to have a comfortable chair.
I even
It
got a
really
side
is.
table, and it's
Hell
like
yeah.
not something from IKEA.
I think yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for that. It's accessibility, having all your stuff within like arm's reach. The thing that I want,
Mhm.
and I have been looking for a good solution for this, and there are solutions, but nothing that really works super well, is that I want a way to comfortably read a hardback book in bed because they're a motherfucker to hold. But
Yes.
like most of the solutions, you can get things like even the,
Like a little book tray or
yeah, book
whatever.
tray are the ones that are like bean bags, like mini bean bags or trays that have a thing on them. None of them
Yeah.
really do the job. So I don't know. So any actually good suggestions, I would be. So that's the sort of old man thing that I want is
Yeah.
a nice place to read my book or something like a nice chair I could read where I could like I have an idea of like a book for what a nerd. I have like a book holder on like a swinging arm and I can like swing it
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah, like a music. uh holder, but like with an arm.
Exactly. So it's such a thing doesn't exist. I'm sure it probably does. It's bound to. I'll look into it. Um. Anyway, so since we last spoke, I have done yet another park run because I've got park run fever seemingly.
Are you
My
still doing what's the weighted walking called? Where you wear that
No,
like
I
weighted
haven't
weight
been
vest?
rocking. I haven't been because
Rucking.
basically, when I got shingles, because of where it was very uncomfortable to
Oh,
wear, and I
oh.
haven't got back into it. But funny, huh?
Is this our conversation? I'm like, I'm middle-aged now, and you're like, I can't
I
read
got
my books.
I
I
got
got shingles.
shingles. Yeah, no, it's just like freaking old man or old people tastic, I
Yes.
should say.
Grow with us, everyone.
Uh, but
Grow
keep
old
myself
with us.
young by running apparently, and but like
Parks.
it was better. So I found out a little bit more about Parkrun since we last spoke. So I've now
Okay.
signed up for the app, and which is dangerous because there's all these challenges. So it's like, do a park run that corresponds to every letter in the alphabet and so on. There's all
Ooh.
sorts of things. So
Ooh.
there are there are park runs in the US. They are few and far between, but like you look at this map and the map of the UK, and it is riddled with them. They are everywhere. There's a ton of them in Germany. There's some in Italy and so on. But there's like not many. I don't think there's any in Spain. It's weird. It's like Europe seems to have taken it's taken hold in Europe in a way that it hasn't seemingly in the US. But there are some over there.
We do marathons
Yeah,
because we want to win something.
sure.
Like I want a medal at the end.
I will say there is a winner of these things as well. So there are 5K runs, and there are people who are like. But so basically, this was a 1.7 kilometer course. Basically, the finish line was behind where the start line was. So by the time I was finishing my second lap, I had been lapped by a few people already. So
Ooh.
there are people who are really going for it. So yeah, there's always people who want to be first in any of these things. So it's unavoidable anywhere you go, really.
Some
Um,
people actually have the competitive spirit.
yes, and I'm just kind of like, whatever. I made it round. I ran most of the way, if not all of the
You're
way.
like
Perfect.
hid behind
Um,
bush for half of it.
yeah. So um, it was fun, and it was more fun certainly than the last one, and it didn't feel quite as like onerous. Because like the last time I did it, and it had been a while since I'd ran, I was in such pain for like the next week. But this time, a day or so, and I'm like, oh, it's all good. So I'm going to try to do them with more regularity, maybe at least once a month. And it has been nice. It's just been nice to get back into it, and yeah, it feels good after you do it.
Hmm.
Um, the other thing that I've done and wanted to talk to you about since last I saw you was that I've watched the Frankenstein movie that's on Netflix.
I did too. I didn't finish it, but what do you think?
Oh, I thought it was great. I mean, I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan, and I thought this was really kind of wonderful. I thought, like, especially if you haven't finished it, the second half where it's like quite monster heavy, is great, really
That's where
great.
I
I
stopped
thought,
it, where it was like, and now I'm gonna tell the story from the
yes,
perspective of the monster. Uh, I don't know. I just like he could have given, so he's got like Frankenstein trapped down in this really interesting basement that has like, you know, I don't know if it was like indoor plumbing at the time where you just like have a stream and you
I
just
was
like
supposed to
put
like
all
an
your
old waterworks building, but the cast,
okay.
the tower itself was so fucking cool looking.
It was. And you know, I the cast was it was well cast.
Yeah,
I think Jacob Elordi is like, I don't know, 9 feet tall or something. So it's like really,
he
really he's that big.
is.
I don't think they've had him wear lifts, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jingle All the Way. But I don't know how I feel about super hot Frankenstein.
I yeah, I suppose he is pretty
Like
hot.
he's hot. He's like hot Frankenstein. He's like running around in a diaper.
That's right.
Uh
He's like shredded. Like yeah, he
yeah,
is.
I'm
Yeah,
never
yeah.
gonna look at an autumn leaf the same way ever again, you
That's
know?
a good point. Yeah.
Yes.
I hear you. I mean, I
It
did
was
think it was
oh
nice redesign of sort of the
yes.
monster, and it's always nice, I think, when they do things like that. I feel like he as a director has always had a really kind of compelling visual language.
Mhm.
So I was really excited to see his take on it, and I was not disappointed. Thoroughly
So
enjoyed it.
I was reading a little bit about Mary Shelley, who wrote
Yeah,
Frankenstein, which was like this is kind of the first sci-fi book ever written, I
yeah,
think. And she wrote it, and I think maybe either assumed or talked to people, and they were like, "There's no way we would publish this because you're a woman." Um, but yeah, she got it published under, I don't even think that had an author listed. It was just called Frankenstein, and it's people obviously like went gaga over it, and eventually it became Mary Shelley's Frankenstein,
yeah.
and that's why they called it Mary Shelley. Like whatever iteration, where they called it Mary Shelley's
Yes,
Frankenstein, I think was to obviously give her credit,
yeah.
which I thought was interesting. But there's just um, I feel like the monster should have been grosser. And it was like it was gross
Mm,
watching it all get put together. And you know what I was thinking about was watching the Ed Gein story.
yeah,
And I'm like, that was so disgusting to me, him
yeah,
like grave robbing and like making things out of, skin and turning, skin into lampshades or whatever, nipple belt. Anyways, but
yeah.
like I was not as grossed out by Frankenstein putting together this monster in the same way, right? Oh, I need a piece of this, a piece of that.
I,
It
yeah, I
didn't
know.
gross me
Yeah,
out.
that's true. It does feel slightly more sanitized for sure. I even like, there are certain scenes where he's like carving the bodies up, and but there's only snippets of that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder,
Yeah.
was that like a rating thing? I don't
It's
even know what the rating for that would be, because like, once it's on Netflix or whatever these days, I don't think they give a shit.
they don't. No. Well, they probably do because I'm sure if you submit anything to the Academy, it's got to have a rating.
Oh, it's good. It's R for
Yeah.
bloody violence and grisly images.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see
But
that.
I will say like the beginning, and I haven't seen the original Frankenstein in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah,
The Boris Karloff version,
yeah,
right? But the idea that he's being stalked by this dark, huge, hulking monster in a giant coat and you can't really see his face. Like that was well done and it was
yeah,
terrifying. And like, he's what in the North Pole or something, like to get away, and
yeah.
Frankenstein falls to the bottom of the ocean and they're like, he's dead, it's fine. Like these people that are trying to rescue him. And he's like, no. And like
They're there.
Frankenstein
No,
fucking
no.
gets up, gets out of the water, So yeah, I'll finish it.
Yeah.
I'll finish
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts once you do finish, actually.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Um, so do you have any what's occurring for us this week?
I do. So you were talking about your training space.
Uh-huh.
What's it called?
My training space.
The strength training space, or is it your yoga studio? What's it called?
Oh, the yoga loft or the strength loft or one of those
Strength
things,
loft.
maybe?
Yes,
Yeah.
strength loft. Someone said, "God damn it, calling a strength training place the strength loft when the lift loft was right there."
Amazing.
So you can rename your studio.
I mean, like, it's not. I don't
You're like,
have
it's not
any.
mine.
I don't. No, I'm gonna get no, no, no. Uh, I think I pushed them to the right, like, whenever, because like whenever they were doing this, they were so it's a friend of mine, it's her studio. Whenever she had the yoga loft, and it was literally a
Mhm.
loft in a building, and then she was like looking, she was wanted to open a strength training business, and I said, and it was like going to be in just a studio, and I was like, just keep the loft branding because it's strong, like, because she had all these other ideas, and I was like, no, they're all terrible. I think you should keep it all under the one sort of like brand, and I think keeping loft as it is quite nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember. She had like a ton of others, and all nearly all of the rest of them were terrible, I thought.
I mean, I still remember Bodie McBoatface, the
Oh,
Greenpeace boat.
so good. It's
Yeah.
a disgrace that they put that out for a public vote and they did not. They did not call it Boating with Boatface. It's such an amazing name for a boat. It's so much fun. People take things too seriously.
They do.
We can't call a
Okay.
boat Boating with Boatface. Why?
Yeah. I was reading something. Macaulay Culkin's all over the place right now. He's just decided he wants to like be part of the world again, which is
Love it.
cool. I mean, I hope he worked through his traumas and can join us in a happy, healthy place. He
Yeah.
seems to be, but I guess I don't know how long ago this happened, but he was basically like, "I'll change my middle name, so give me like 10 recommendations, and then everybody can vote." And he was like, legally, I will change it. So somebody put Macaulay Culkin, and everybody voted for Macaulay Culkin. So Macaulay Culkin's name is Macaulay Culkin Culkin.
Amazing.
And so when people stop him and they're like, "Are you Macaulay Culkin?" He's like, "That's my middle name."
Amazing.
And I'm just like, how to have so much fun in your own brain in your
Yeah,
own life. Like I kind of am aspiring to like be more like Macaulay.
that rocks. That rocks. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the right
Anyways, sorry.
attitude
That was like
about.
way out of what's going on with you, but
I love it. That was great.
I had to tell you.
That's great. No, I like that a lot. I did not. That's a wonderful one.
Hmm.
Um, all right. Shall we get into our topic for the week,
Yes.
which
Let's get
is
into our topic for the week.
Strange Days?
Strange days.
Had you seen this before?
I had.
Okay, cool.
And this was on like my, I don't know, at least in college, I think I probably watched it. I probably watched it like once a year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
It
because that was like I was hip to raving then, right? And it's kind of like got that cyberpunk feel.
it does. It kind of lives in. I mean, like in a way, it kind of lives in that same kind of area as like Hackers and I guess The Matrix and things like
Yeah,
that, which is like they're not completely contemporaries, but within a few years of each other.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I because like I had suggested this to Beth because like so the reason why we're doing this now is and how we will probably do things going forwards is do a run of Christmas movies onto Christmas and then something that represents New Year's at the
Here, yeah.
as our last episode for the year.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this was whenever I thought about New Year's, this was the
Mhm.
first thing that sprang to mind for some reason because it's such a because like this sort of the idea of it being the end of the century, this big sort of turning point, and it being New Year's for a decent chunk of the movie seemed so so in the forefront of what this movie is to me.
Yeah. And it's like it's a few so it takes place in the millennium, 1999 to
In the
2000
far-flung future of
in the far-flung
1989.
right, right. So things are different. Everyone's wearing
Yeah, shirts. Lenny shirts are pretty futuristic.
Yes, yes. Uh so it's it's a grimy, dirty city and so it's yeah, so it's Los Angeles.
It is Los Angeles. I think like what I wrote about it was that like because this film was filmed in '95 and um it's set in '99, so obviously not a massive leap forwards into the future, but and it's pretty it's pretty similar to how it actually was, apart from the piece of technology that kind of underpins
Yes.
the whole film.
Yes. And I didn't know the extent to which the technology was like so far advanced
Yeah,
and like the camera we can talk more about that but so just to give you guys the quick rundown, it's 1999. The whole movie takes place between like evening of or morning. I don't know, they kept showing you the time, so it takes place in like a 24-hour
it
period.
does. Yeah, basically the night of
Yeah,
the 30th into the night of the
yeah.
31st, I think
So you
basically. Yeah.
see I thought it was interesting, like we can talk about the ending, but like, there's confetti and they've got like the year 2000 and it's like in Los Angeles and they've got the 2000, but also like in many different languages. And I was like, there's no fucking way they would do that.
Hmm.
Like this concept of like other people other than like, Americans using American mathematics.
Yeah, that's true. I did like it though, I must
It's
say.
funny they wrote it in Chinese, never would happen
Yeah.
on a big screen. Okay, so you have uh so LA is like a racial war zone during this time. which is
Yes.
funny
I think it's like
because
what I wrote down was that it seems awful, but not like worse, just differently awful to the actual reality of
I'm like, yeah, they were I kind of am having a hard time with the timelines. I'm like, what happened in real life first versus what happened in the movie,
uh-huh.
and like what was influenced by what. And we'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So LAPD and SWAT officers are fighting n- um a racial war. So Lenny Nero is our 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 main actor, played by Ray Fiennes. He's a dealer of this like CD. He's an ex-cop, but he's you know did something, and he now he's selling this thing on the black market, and it basically gives you like you put this thing on your head and you go into it's called what, like the tick or something,
Hmm.
and you go into someone else's memories and sensations, but it's like you're feeling what they feel, you see what they see. It's like you're there.
Hmm.
um he's got a girlfriend that he misses. She was a hooker, now she's a rock star. And his best friend is a private eye, and it's just him trying to solve this uh mystery of his hooker friend named Iris. She like freaks out, and she's like, and she gets murdered, and it's really bad. Um the this like I don't know what the tick thing, the
The device that
thing
they
that goes in the
wear.
head.
Hmm.
Yeah, like he starts to realize that there's like a killer on the loose. And what this killer is doing, and please help me explain this,
Uh-huh.
is the killer is wearing the thing on his head and recording, and also putting the thing on his victim's head.
Yeah, and
So
making
each
her
of them,
see what doing. Yeah.
but I would assume it would go the other way too. So he's also experiencing, I don't know.
I
Anyways,
don't know if it would. I think they talked about it just her plugging into his feed. So I
but
think only she's
right.
experiencing what he is
Yes.
doing to her. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like a horrible way to say that like he is killing her and raping her, and I'm sorry, it's like trigger warning.
Yes.
And she is feeling it through his eyes, and also through his body and in her own body.
It's pretty messed
So
up.
it's pretty fucked up, right?
It is.
So uh this there's also a subplot that is I think could have been a bigger part of the plot, but
Uh-huh.
there is a sorry, I lost it.
Like
Da-da-da-da-da.
the hip hop, the activist, the
Yeah, so they're 2 days before the turn of the century. There's a black rapper, Jericho One, who's like talking about like this race war and it needs to end, and like telling people what's happening, and he is murdered.
hmm.
And so on the one hand, he's trying to figure out who killed his hooker friend, and also realizing that Jericho One like has been murdered, and they've got to figure out what to do about that. And it all, coalesces at the very end, and you realize that, there are connections that are made that you didn't know. Like there's surprises where you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I
there are.
didn't know
In
he,
terms of
yeah,
who's connected
yeah,
with the murder, how the kind of so Jericho one's the name of the hip hop star, who's a political activist who gets killed, and it kind of that ignites everything that's going on. But like how all these kind of strands tie together. Yeah, it's it all culminates on New Year's Eve.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that like it's like because it feels I to me, whenever I thought about this, and I started, whenever would I suggest this, I was like talking to friends about it, and I thought it was like a really big film, but I didn't know that it really kind of flopped quite badly, and a lot of people who I talked to really didn't even know it existed, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, because like especially somebody like me, even though it's like not like hard sci-fi by any stretch of the imagination, and basically the kind of like only sort of like cyberpunky style sort of like element to it is like only like kind of a tool to tell a story that they're trying to tell about
yeah,
like abuse of power, about like the infighting between races, about how there is like a certain class that is trying to rule everybody else with like control, with like manipulation and control and things like that. um but yeah, it's yeah, I think like I want to talk a little bit about the director is Catherine Bigelow. I'd say anybody who's familiar with movies probably knows who that is. Like she is, she's kind of a big deal. She was the first kind of female director to win an Oscar for The Hurt Locker. She has done like a ton of different things, but like most famously, Point Break was a big one for her. Zero Dark 30 was also massive. But she is like a female director who like talks about a lot of her movies have violence in them and like talk about the kind of like criminal kind of like side of things. And I think because it's coming from a woman's perspective, they're always they always feel quite different and quite interesting in a way that's kind of hard for me to kind of pin down.
I felt that too. I like there's a reason that I would, and I like when you were like Strange Days, I was like, fuck yeah. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I've seen that, probably in like 18 years or whatever, but I remembered, you know, little bits and pieces, but it really, I don't know. I didn't think that it had that much of a story, or I didn't, I can't, it's like there's something that I can't quite put my finger on with it.
Hmm.
Um, it seems like so many other movies. It seems like it has like so many themes that exist in real life, but I feel like this kind of happened at a time, or they, I just think people weren't talking about the reality of our lives
Yes.
in this way yet. And now we do, right? So it seems weird that, but I think this is probably, and I could be wrong, like please feel free to disagree with me and point me in different directions, but I feel like this is sort of the first big movie with big names, big stars that were like the police are fucking corrupt, right? And
It's
like
that's interesting.
they're trying to create a race war on purpose. And you know, um
I suppose, yeah, and I don't know, but I suppose this would have come not long after like the Rodney King riots and things like
it
that, so it's probably a real
that's
response to that.
it is actually.
That's
So
interesting.
um so yeah, if you want to talk about the director,
Yes, sorry.
uh,
Yes. So yes, first woman to win Best Director Oscar for The Hurt Locker. I think she's got like she's had a really interesting career and she's made a lot of incredible films. Although I think she is a director who maybe a lot of her best work was done like and certainly I think Zero Dark 30's flawed, but I quite enjoyed it. I think that she has done some interesting stuff in later years, but like I think a lot of her big sort of movies that she's known for were in the early parts of her career. And I know that like she has recently just done a movie, House of Dynamite. That's her first movie in a long, long time, and it's getting mixed reviews. It's
really.
yeah. So I think that like she definitely has had some real juice in her directing career, and she's made some incredible films. But I don't know whether that you know whether she still has it or whether it's one of these things. I heard an interesting sort of thought on this recently, which was that whenever you have directed these big films that were big successes and you have a claim for those, do you hit a point as an artist where you're like, do I want to keep making the same sort of thing as I've made before, or do I just want to roll the dice and do whatever the hell that I want? Because like she's proven herself more than enough, you know what I mean? So like, why not just kind of roll the dice and do what she wants to do, So who knows?
She also, like, just looking at her IMDb and her Wikipedia, like um she tackles some really, really hard
She
topics.
does.
And I'm not saying that other women don't. I'm just saying that they probably don't have as much of an opportunity.
That's a good point.
Uh, so the fact that this movie, is tackling these harder subjects,
Yeah.
um, and it's, subjects like rape and torture and murder
Yeah.
and race wars and all that stuff, I think because it's from, oh, honestly, this there was feedback that I read that people had a hard time accepting it or dealing with it because they knew that a woman had directed this,
Interesting.
and they were
What?
like, they didn't know how to feel about that.
But like, would have been better for Matt. Like I don't understand.
That's my question. I don't know.
Yeah. because like I can understand if you I can understand you having a problem with that in a movie, but I don't know that I don't know what difference it makes that a woman's directing it, and I think that, you know, if anything, probably from that perspective, it's more important that she is talking about this and she's like shining a light in this thing, even if it is hard to process, and I absolutely get that it is. But like in no way does the film glamorize it. It really is, saying like this is awful. It's just, and it's this could, this device, this sci-fi device in the movie, the squid is what it was called. I looked it up.
That's right.
Is like it just kind of like emphasizes the horror of those things, in a way that I think is important for some people to see.
Hmm. So, Catherine Bigelow
Hmm.
is married to the person that wrote the screenplay.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if you've heard of this person. His name's James Cameron.
No.
Right. Also, co-written by Jay Cox. So yeah, the two of them were married. I think that
For like 2 years or whatever. Yeah, at this
yeah.
time. Yeah, not
So
long.
he helped her, I think, do a rewrite of Point Break.
That must have been a chill marriage,
I
being married to James
know,
Cameron.
right? Right. Um,
Uh,
and so yeah, okay, so let's talk about Jay Cox because James Cameron gets so much
sure.
attention. So Jay Cox, he's known for he's fucking amazing. His collaborations, Age of Innocence, Gangs of New York with Martin Scorsese, Strange Days, obviously with Catherine Bigelow. He did a rewrite, an uncredited rewrite of the screenplay for Titanic, with James Cameron. Thank you, Jay Cox, for doing any kind of rewrite on Titanic, because God help me. Um, and then he wrote uh uh basically yeah and helped develop the movie Blade Runner. So he's done a lot of screenplays for a lot of really really amazing people and movies. So
Gross.
I know. So good job, Jay. So
Yeah.
James Cameron like started to work on this story in like 1986.
Hmm.
So over a decade before the millennium. Um, and he wrote it with his I don't think maybe they were dating uh at that point. I don't think they were married, but he wrote it with Catherine Bigelow in mind to direct. And she thought it was like he was like, "What do you think of the treatment?" She was like, "I love it. Please let's do this." So what she says is these two characters on the eve of the millennium, with one character trying to get the woman who loves him to help him save the woman that he loves. She's like, it's this great emotional matrix.
Yeah.
Um, and that was kind of the heart of the story, like along with the political elements of it. But then they were like, let's focus more on the romance side. Um, and she was like, I want it to be edgy and gritty, and that's kind of what came out of out of that. Um,
Yeah.
and it is edgy, it is
It
gritty.
is. I
It's
think that like I think, we talked about all the kind of like tough stuff that's in here, but like I should double back and say that like I immediately I put this on and like half an hour in, I was like I was in it, I was in the world, it felt complete, it felt well drawn, it felt engaging, and like although it did deal with tough subject matter, it did feel like it was just such an enjoyable watch for me. Like it was just felt really well made. The characters felt really well realized, and
Andy,
mhm.
this movie was 2 hours and 25 minutes.
I know, and I
I was
only
like,
realized that
how's he gonna
afterwards,
deal?
and I was like, and I put it on, I was like, oh no, and then I was like, oh, this is going down real easy. It's just just so nice to watch, and like so many like lovely surprises in terms of like cast that turn up and things like that,
Yes,
and you're just like, this is
yes,
great, and like
yes.
even you know. Angela Bassett's character doesn't turn up until a bit later on, and when she turns, it's like, yeah, another injection of life into this thing.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
wonderful in so many ways. Like just again, you know, and I think any movie that can do that, that can do, really tackle the kind of tougher subject matter, but actually make an entertaining kind of like project, I guess, it's just
Mhm.
that takes some real skill, I think.
I agree. So, So it was influenced by the 1992 Los Angeles riots
Yeah,
that followed the Rodney King verdict. Feel free to Google that if you want. It's
yeah,
paved a way for a lot of complexity in our country.
yeah,
So she was involved in the downtown cleanup, and she was like, I was so moved by the experience. She said you've got a palpable sense of the anger and the frustration and the economic disparity in which we live. And so as they're writing it, she's like, put this is kind of like what I'm thinking, you know? How nice to just have James Cameron like taking dictation.
yeah. It's true. Again, but I'm sure it's a very chill experience.
Yeah, right. So um They, yeah, Strange Days, they had originally budgeted it to be about 30 million
hmm
compared to True Lies, which had a budget of 70 million.
Jeez, okay. Which is was
Yeah,
that the same year, True Lies?
I believe
It'd
so, yes.
be around then, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Um, yeah, I was looking at the music for this, and it was by somebody called Graham Revel, who I had not heard of before.
Uh-huh.
But again, it's interesting because like I feel as we have been doing this, I've been learning a lot more about composers and starting to see names I recognize and things like that. But this guy, he did this, he did a ton of other stuff. Most notably, The Crow, from Dusk Till
Oh,
Dawn.
wow.
Also, as I've written down here, some solid gold classics like Daredevil, the Ben Affleck one, and Mighty Morphin Power
That's
Rangers,
really cool, actually.
right? But also like he apparently was in one of the first ever industrial music bands called SPK back in the 80s before he like got
Oh my
into like movie
gosh.
compositions and things like that. So
Wow.
there
Yeah,
you
the
go.
music was, I mean, the music was interesting. So I guess there's a scene at the very end where everyone's like celebrating you know, the end of the millennium, and there I gotta find it in my notes. It's an actual concert where they're filming.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Um and let's see. I'll find it. Oh, so yeah, it was an actual rave. It was promoted by Philip Blaine, who I don't
hmm
remember, and it was called Millennium. So who are you lucky people that actually got to go to this? Because Aphex Twin was playing,
Oh
Lady Miss
yeah.
Kier and Doc Martin were all
Was
amongst the live performers.
And I saw like Skunk and Nancy was in it as
Yes,
well.
yes,
Yeah, because
yeah,
they were singing the song at near the end, I think.
yes,
Which was always it was nice to see. Like there was so much stuff in that regard that I was kind of like, oh, I haven't seen Skunk and
yeah.
Nancy in
I know,
years.
I know.
They're releasing new music at the minute actually, which is kind of exciting.
But it's
Um,
like this type of music and like the industrial music. Like I haven't even heard the phrase industrial to describe music in
yeah.
so long. Like I was like, oh yeah, like
One of the other things I was thrilled to see in this, and they were used as the discs for the Squid system,
yes,
were mini
yes,
discs, and I was like,
yes,
"Whoa, mini discs!
yes,
Hooray!"
yeah. They
Um,
like they like revamped them a little bit, but you were like, yeah,
I was
I
like,
never had a mini disc player
oh,
because it
I
was like
did.
a weird like 2 year period where it was like
There was.
we went from tapes to CDs, but mini discs were like, were
You
they
see,
after CDs or before CDs?
no, they were after CDs. It was at a time when I was really getting into music, so I had bought like a set of like decks, just
Yeah,
individual. Like I had a CD player, I had like an amp, and blah blah blah. And I actually I still have a mini disc deck
that's awesome.
there, and I
That's
think they're worth
awesome.
money now because people have moved back to the format and kind of love them in a lot of ways. But I was like interested in making like my own collections and stuff, and before. We had like MP3 players essentially. That was the way you were doing it. But like you say, a 2 year window and then the like MP3 players came along and
Yes,
just blew them out of the water,
they
you
did.
know.
I think it was like, well, so it was 90, so this is the 90s, yeah. So like by 2005, I think,
hmm
was when the first iPod came out, or 2006.
That sounds about right.
And that was, yeah, that was like you could keep, no, it was before that, the big iPod. I remember, yeah, I had one. I bought a pink one and you could like get them engraved.
Yes,
And
I remember
so
those. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I was like, I don't know, like 19 or 20. So it was like, yeah, right around this time. And I had it engraved with Dude, I Rule, spelled
Hmm.
DoodIRool. And I still have it.
Amazing.
I'm so
Yeah,
embarrassed.
I had a great one early on, and 2001, first iPod came out, but
Okay.
and I got it wet within the first 3 months of having it, and it was completely fucking toast, you know. Uh, but still a V.
They love me. So yeah, I thought they did a good job on the music. And
Did it?
it's like I hadn't heard a lot of the songs in a really long
Yeah.
time. And it was just nice to, yeah, kind of have. Okay. Also, um, I don't know if you remember it, Angela Bass Angela Bassett is a fucking badass.
She
Like
is.
I just love her and everything, and I want her to win an Oscar really badly. But there's this, she's like talking to the Ray Fiennes character, and she's, saying something along the lines of like this, like it's all happening right here, right now. And I was like, that's literally from Fatboy Slim, right here, right now. That's
Yeah.
her voice. He sampled that from this and then made that track.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That rocks. I did not know that.
I
That's
know. So
awesome.
when you're done, everyone listening to this, go listen to the Right Here, Right Now, and you can hear Angela Bassett.
So I think also just while we're on the Angela Bassett topic is that like I think this was a big catalyst for people who'd seen this movie. Whenever they were casting the X-Men film, people were like, she needs to be Storm. And she should have
Yeah.
been, I think she would have been a much better option. Like Halle Berry's fine, but Halle Berry's softer, whereas Angela Bassett in this is so hard, like she's tough, like, and you believe it, you know? And it would have been great, but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
Well, and she plays the mother in Black Panther, right?
Yes, she does.
So like she's just, I think her breakthrough, sorry, I love me some Angela Bassett.
She rocks.
Yeah, she was in Boys in the Hood, Malcolm X, Waiting to Exhale was like, I
Hmm.
feel like that might have been kind of the one that turned everybody on to her. But yeah, she's, I don't know, as just like as a complete badass whose arms I wish I had.
Oh, she does look incredible in this. Like she's just so
Yeah,
shredded, and she's just
yeah,
like such. Yeah, she's like a powerhouse. She really is. She rocks.
yeah.
Like, and it's such an and again so nice in a film. Like ostensibly the main character Lenny, he was a cop, so like should be able to handle himself, but is actually kind of gets his ass kicked a lot,
Yes.
and is kind of like a greasy loser for the most part,
Yeah.
whereas Mace kind of takes care of business in ways that are
Yes.
it's quite wonderful.
Yes. 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 So do you want to talk about like favorite actors
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
everybody was in this movie.
Yes.
So
Go for it.
I mean, it's just like, so I looked at the movie poster because I think I might have even like gotten one from Hollywood Video at
Uh-huh.
one point and put it up in my room, and it was like Angela Bassett and Ray Fiennes and Juliette Lewis
Yeah.
um were but it's like um Tom Sizemore.
Yes. Tom Sizemore's wig obviously gets a different accent.
It definitely does. Definitely does.
That wig, oh wow.
Uh-huh. Vincent, I never pronounce his name right.
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio
Uh-huh.
plays, if they're cops, they're probably crooked
Yeah.
cops, just gonna say. Um, so yeah, it was a lot of,
Uh,
good good
Michael
faces.
Wincott, who plays the kind of manager of Jericho 1, is another guy who's one of these guys you see his face and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, I know that guy. Just like he is classically a classic Hollywood bad guy look about him in a way that few other actors have.
Yeah. Says he's got quite the name. Michael Anthony Claudio Wincott is a Canadian
Ooh,
actor. His deep, raspy voice has often led to his being cast in villainous roles, and he totally plays this well. He also has good hair.
he does.
Uh, but yeah, he's always, I don't know. I don't see him in like Scent of a Woman, you know?
No,
I see him
no.
as like rapist rock star.
Yeah, that's yeah, the kind of guy who beats women. Yeah,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I think like I've got to say, I seeing Tom Sizemore with long hair is just it's wrong. Like I even though I think the wig's not bad, it's like it's all wrong. You see it, you're like, no, bro, you're a shaved head guy, you're a short hair guy.
Yeah.
Long hair is just
Well,
not your thing.
yeah, and like so part of the premise of this is like all of these videos that people are making that you can buy to experience whatever they're experiencing. Like you want to hide the recorder. So he's like wearing like a bandana in a lot
Yeah.
of his scenes and like yeah, like at the end you've gone through this whole thing with Tom Sizemore as your best friend, and then you realize like he's actually a traitor, whatever. That doesn't really matter. What matters is they're all fighting and someone pulls his wig off and they realize he's been like recording everything like this whole time.
Basically everything, yeah.
Everything, but it's like that's not his real hair. You could tell like they were all like trying to be like that wasn't he was recording. That's not
We,
his real hair. I'm like,
yeah,
what you're fucking idiots. I
yeah.
can't with you.
We know that's not his real hair. He doesn't look
Yeah.
right. He doesn't look
No.
right.
No, and yeah, and like, how long have they been friends? Probably a very long time.
Right.
Did they ever go get a haircut together? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Um, so I have a bone to pick with the lead.
Okay.
I can't see. Uh, what did I write? I can't see. Uh,
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes as like an American slime ball.
I can kind of, but I think that he could do a slime ball, but like him being American just does not sit right with me at all. It just
Yeah.
his accent's not bad, I don't think, but like it's just he doesn't feel quite like I still liked him in this and I thought he was grand. It's maybe not my favorite part of the movie, but I still think he worked in this. But just make him in, like just do the freaking oh, I've forgotten his name now. The guy in oh no, this is terrible.
You're fine. So, um, so yeah, I had a hard time believing him
Hmm.
as, yeah, as, and I guess like he had just come off of Schindler's List,
Hmm.
and Catherine Bigelow saw that and was like, I want him in this movie.
Oh,
And I had
interesting.
read somewhere that like Ray Fiennes and Angela Jolie had dated, and I was like, when would that have been? And this is probably like he was hot
Yeah.
at this point in a different way like Hollywood hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
100%. Yeah, that's why.
I'm just yeah, I can see that happening during this time, but yeah,
Sorry,
he's a
sorry,
beautiful
sorry.
man, he's a great actor. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say,
You find it.
I think they should have just done the Jason Statham thing because Jason Statham can't do an accent
Yes.
where they're just like he's lived in America all his life, but he grew up in the UK, and they could have just done something
Yeah,
like that, and it would have been fine, you know?
I would have believed it more, not to say he can't do an American
No,
accent, but it's like I think it might be his only role where
it's
he's
like
played an American.
they've got the idea of iPhone face. I don't know if you've heard this, where it's like certain actors when you put them in period pieces, it's not believable because they have a face that's in an iPhone that's clear, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I think he's the same, except he's got English face. It's just like it's so clear he's an Englishman.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
To me,
Yes.
anyway.
I think that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's like we've
English
seen it,
face.
so yeah, English face.
It's
And it's always
ingrained into him,
surprising
you
to
know.
find out like, oh, you're British. Yeah, but it's like yeah, it's you can't unsee all of the other English movies that he's done.
You cannot, absolutely not.
Okay.
But he rocks.
Not to say he didn't do a good job. He did.
Yes, he did.
Also, like, why would you name the main character Lenny?
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's a good like sleazeball name. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a good sort of
Yeah,
like I do like the fact that his hair is greasy the
it
whole
is
way
so
through it. You know,
greasy the whole way through.
it's
And that's
perfect.
how I knew that Tom Sizemore's hair was fake.
It's
Because
like
there was no, it was just,
silken and
it just
flowy.
looked, I don't know, it was kind of like somewhere between, yeah, I don't know, like rocker slash caveman,
Yeah,
with no grease.
it's true.
None.
It's true.
Okay, so would you like to know some little facts,
Yes, please.
factoids? So Juliette Lewis, we all know she's a total badass. She did all of her own vocals and singing for this.
Yes. Because
Maybe this was she's
she's
in
a
a
band.
band.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think she quit acting for like a decade and was just like, I'm gonna be a rock star now. And
Yeah.
now she's like, I think I'll start acting again. I'm like, must be nice. So,
Yeah.
but the songs that were written for her, they were written and performed by PJ Harvey,
Ooh.
who I dig. And
Yes, she
yeah, so
rocks.
yeah, it's good. Okay, so there's this camera called the Steadicam,
Hmm.
and the way that this movie is shot, I, it's hard to say because I've seen other movies shot this way now. I think that I mean this was the first one, but it's this, like one long running shot, a lot of like 360-degree view of above the actors. That was really hard to like light and do things. So they ended up shooting 50 to 60% of the shots for this were on the Steadicam or some sort of moving camera.
Okay.
So I kind of think of it like Fury Road, but maybe on foot.
Yeah, that's
So
I
you're
like
just
that.
like
Yeah.
you're the cameraman. You gotta be doing your park runs on the weekends, and like making sure that you can like run your ass off and also do amazing cinematography.
Uh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. So challenge
So
accepted. All right. Okay. So I've just got to start carrying a Steadicam with me when I'm doing my
yeah,
park runs. Okay.
I
Got
think
it.
so. I think so. And make it interesting.
Sure.
So
Film some action shots.
right, right. Just go punch your reindeer in the face.
Yeah.
Okay, so uh the vast majority of this movie was shot at night.
Hmm.
So this is insane. Can you imagine out of an 80-day shoot schedule, 77 of those days you shoot at night?
Yeah, that's
You're only
rough.
living at night
That's rough.
for like 3 months.
Yeah.
I
For
would you do
actors.
it? Would you do it? How much would you how like 20
I
million
mean, yeah, 20
to
million.
be
Yeah,
like
I guess. For
depressed
20 million, I
for 20
guess.
million
I'll do 3 months for 20 million, I suppose.
in the dark?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Uh,
honestly, like, yeah, I can, because that would do me for a couple of years. I would not have to work for some time after that if I got 20 million for that. So, yeah,
that's true.
sure, why not?
Okay. All right. Well, now we know your price. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Oh, I'm
there
way cheaper than that, but 20 million will
I,
do it.
we're not going to ask how cheap 20 million is.
Yeah, don't,
Okay.
let's not go down that path.
So okay, so you get a lot of these point of view action sequences where the audience sees everything from the perspective of one of the
Yeah,
characters. Um, that required over a year of preparation, planning, and rehearsal before they could shoot.
interesting. It did
I
feel
know.
quite unique at the time. I feel like other films have done that since then, but
They
it
have. They stole it.
and I feel like, that it really, it kind of like brings home how like tough some of the scenes are that you're inhabiting them. It really does. It's very effective.
Yeah. So part of that is because James Cameron did a lot of the editing work, especially the final action sequences. But he couldn't be credited. This is funny. He couldn't be credited because he was not in the editors union. He joined before making Titanic in 1997 and is
Wow.
credited as an editor in that film, but not on Strange Days.
Amazing.
Okay, and then let's see, blah blah. Okay, so the character of LAPD Chief Strickland was likely inspired by real life LAPD chief. That's the LA Police Department.
Uh-huh.
Daryl Gates, who became notorious for his mishandling of the Rodney King beating of 1991 and the Los Angeles riots of 92, which occurred when the officers who had beaten King, an event captured on video by a bystander, were acquitted by an all-white jury. Much of this film takes its themes from those two events.
Love it.
And this all ties into O.J. Simpson.
Oh, okay.
So the part of the reason that he got off was because of the mishandling of
I didn't
Rodney
know that.
King. Yeah,
That's
and people were
fascinating.
like yeah, it was like we everyone saw on video them beating up Rodney King
So
and
they had to be more lenient, or they felt they had to be more lenient in that
yeah,
case.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Wow, that's
So,
nuts.
okay, as I do, here are the people. Do you want to guess like which people they might have cast if they hadn't cast Ray
Oh,
Fiennes?
good. No, I don't know. No clue.
Okay. Okay. So Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Wow.
Denzel Washington.
Okay.
That would have been good. Michael
Yep.
Keaton, Tom
Hmm.
Cruise, Jeff Bridges, Mel Gibson, Bruce Willis. It goes on, sorry. Andy Garcia, Nicolas Cage, Patrick Swayze, John Travolta, Sean Penn, Bill Paxton, Dennis Quaid, and Kurt Russell.
Jeez, wow, a
I
murderer's row.
know.
I mean, like I think like this, like I 50 to 75% of those names, I'm like, I would quite like to see that movie, you
Yep.
know. I mean, I
Yep.
like the movie, I like the movie a lot as
Yep.
is, but they sound good.
Yes. And to be fair, uh Ray Fiennes was just getting started,
That's
and
fair.
this is
Yeah.
oh, good job. If you're gonna play an American Slime Ball,
In case anybody's wondering, my
yeah.
obviously my number one choice would have been Mel Gibson, number one with a bullet. I'm joking. I am joking. I need to make that clear.
He steals water. He steals water. He got in trouble. I don't know. This is like 5 years ago. He's got an avocado
Yeah,
farm.
his position in the world has certainly went
It's just,
downhill.
it totally, yeah. I mean, it's amazing what'll happen when you get pulled over and
And
are anti-Semitic. But
and speak your truth at all thoughts, yeah.
oh boy, did he.
Oh yeah.
So, well, no, he got fined because he had water trucks for his avocado farm, like
Oh, I think I
parked.
heard about this.
Yeah, and they were like siphoning all the city water for his avocados,
What
and they were
else
like,
the
"You can't do
fucking
that."
garbage
I
person?
know. You better not live in the Palisades. Anyways,
Nice.
that's what
Well,
I have in terms
okay.
of facts.
All right. So in that case, shall we get to our final section, our final sections, I should say. I think I don't have anything for the Animal Acting Award this week. I don't
You're
think. I don't know. There was no real animals in it, and
no.
so.
I mean,
But
yeah, you could say Tom Sizemore's hair.
that Sensei Schwarzerd absolutely takes it. Absolutely takes it in a magnificent performance as real hair. Um, so to legit effect, I think is clearly goes to Lenny for his incredible selection of shirts and ties. They're
Yeah.
so garish
Yeah.
throughout. Every choice is horrifying, and I love
Yeah, I
it.
mean, I was like, but I didn't know which way you were gonna. I didn't know which way you were gonna go. It could have
I,
been Juliette Lewis with her rollerblading outfit, which was a thong and like a tiny
that was
t-shirt
that
and
really ruled, and
thigh
then like a
and
wee, a
thigh
wee belly
highs.
chain as well. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
and a
yeah,
belly chain. And I
she's
was like, that's Venice Beach for you.
she does look incredible, like, and she's like basically at least partially naked in every shot she's
Yeah.
in the film.
Yes.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, she
But
had
yeah,
good wigs too.
she was in contention. I really didn't see. I've got to say, like, so one of the things I wrote early on because I couldn't remember how the film ended was that Mace and Lenny is one of the best platonic friendships I've seen on screen, and I was kind of sad when they kissed at the end because like I would have just preferred for them to remain friends, and like although there are things to like about Lenny, I'm not too sure why these women are interested in him in a
I
lot of
agree.
ways.
I agree.
You
She's
know,
like Mace's such a badass. She's like an ass-kicking limo driver who dresses amazing, so you can always see her arms, right? And like maybe
she
it's because, you know, they think they can fix him.
This is it. This is it. He does seem like a project for sure. Um, Amazing. All right. So, in terms of revisit, remember, refuse, or redo, what are your thoughts?
I think had I not known the backstory and like how this is hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to watch
Yep.
for reasons of content, but also like so much of that time in America was so hard,
Yeah, that's true.
and to revisit that, it was not like it's not like watching a documentary, but it felt very, very, very um familiar.
Yeah, yeah, and probably not wonderful ways.
Yeah. So, but I will say, like this really did, even though I know it's got a cult following now.
Yeah,
Um, and just like I'm like, well, this just like this movie, and I'm like, but that movie came out after this, and like every movie I can think of comparing this movie to came out after.
yeah,
So I think it really did change a lot of
yeah,
cinematography, story, and Catherine Bigelow. I more props to her for having the tits to do this. I don't know how
yeah,
you say
sure,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
she doesn't have balls.
But yeah, she did. But she had things to say and she said them, and
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
you got to respect her for that. Yeah,
Yeah, and she continues to do that, and I think that's pretty awesome.
yeah,
So
love it.
I definitely I I as now I think because I'm older, like early, like before it was like hard. I don't know. I was watching it like through 19-year-old eyes before,
Sure.
right? I'm like, I like this,
This
this band,
fantasy,
and like,
yeah,
yeah, it's a raving, yeah, like cool. But now I'm like, oh man, the world's fucked up. So
yes. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm pretty there with you. Like, I think it's like for me to revisit with like a content warning, it's tough.
yes,
It is a
yes,
lot of tough subject matter, but it's an incredibly well made film with some really compelling performances, a really kind of like, I think, thought provoking central ideas, I think, in there as well that are just really kind of like explored in, I think, quite satisfying ways. It is tough at times, but I really enjoy this revisit, and I'm really glad that I did. It's a film that has been on like long on my list to kind of rewatch, and yeah, so definitely, let's say with a content warning, but I think a definitely a revisit for me.
yeah. I will say because Andy warned me, he was like, yeah, we're watching Strange Days, but like, or you just said like I had a hard time finding it, so let me
Yeah,
know if you. And I did. I was like, okay, get on this now, just in case like it's an issue, you need to go buy the DVD. And I found some random website, but it would definitely took like three other websites that were like, you know, full of
and
viruses.
and I think it's a real shame that like a film like this
Mhm.
is kind of like, and I think it's really damning indictment of where movies are kind of going in terms of like preservation for old movies. Like
Yes.
this movie's
Yes.
like what 30 years old and is tough to get access to unless you have a DVD or a Blu-ray of it, and
Yeah.
it's quite sad because I think that like it's despite maybe not having been a critical darling at the time, I think it is an important piece of like an important filmmaker's like what's the word I'm looking for, collection, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a shame if something like this was to like disappear or at least be hard to watch.
It's interesting too, because now I'm in a conspiracy theory everything.
Hmm.
But like I was like, okay, like it says as of last year, it was available on,
HBO Max or something like that, wasn't it? Or
yeah, there were like two or three other places,
yeah,
and you could rent it from Amazon, and it's disappeared from all of those.
yeah.
And I'm like, ah, someone doesn't want us to think about the subject matter.
That's a good point. Yeah, or maybe there's a reboot in the cards as well.
Maybe, but like it's just interesting that like movies will disappear.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
scary.
like when I was trying to find Little Buddha with starring Keanu Reeves, which I can see why he wants that not around because of all of,
Yeah, it's true.
he's playing an Indian man.
Yeah,
Anyways, he's playing Buddha, whatever. But I I the fact that there's so many movies that are out there, and everything is so accessible, and then to like be like, oh no, this is
yeah,
like not, it's just, we live in a world of everything being accessible right away.
yeah,
And it was like frustrating, but also like kind of cool.
yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah,
We're like so underground, Andy, that
we
we
are
can't even
so
find the movie that
underground.
we watch. So
I
you
know.
guys, good luck
Yeah, good
finding
luck. But if you find it, it's
it.
worth the
Yes.
journey. All right. So, moving to the end of our episode, two things, and something I forgot to do last episode is so we are ringing in the new year with some a wee Harrison Ford season. I'm going to spring this on Beth and let's see how she likes it. So, the next
Okay.
movie we're going to watch is The Mosquito Coast.
Oh, I've never seen that. I've
Okay.
never seen that.
So,
It's on my list.
there we go. So we're gonna
Okay.
so in case you want to watch it for next week's episode, which we're excited for that, and then we will be doing three more Harrison Ford movies after that. But
If
yeah,
you have any recommendations, let us know.
please let us
It's
know.
so funny because I finished that I Own Sky book, and she was like talking like, I'm getting a political call right now. I'm
No
gonna say
fun.
no to that, from Oklahoma. Okay.
Hey,
And so she talks about like her friendship with River Phoenix, and then like
yep.
how everyone dealt with his death, and they were like kind of dating, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to do this film called The Mosquito Coast. And I was like, oh my God, I need to see this because I love him and I love Harrison Ford. And like, this was me thinking this like 3 days ago. So
Sweet
good
kismet.
on you, Andy.
Kismet. I love it. Okay, so Beth, can you tell everybody where they can find us?
No, because you need to
Ah,
talk about what brought you joy.
fine. Oh crap. I nearly escaped it. All
You
right.
did. Make
Um,
it fast.
All right, out fast. Let me think. What was it? I did have something. Oh yes, I was been rereading the Powers comic book. It's a comic book from the 90s. And although at first my friend kind of bought me a collection of them, and it was one of these things that I started reading it, and I was like, oh, this is really dated, and I was really struggling with it at first. It was like so 90s in this kind of fast talk, sort of like bullshit. But as I've kind of settled into it and getting near the end, it was like settling into a nice, comfortable pair of slippers, and yeah, it was a nice revisit. So yeah, it's been
That's
lovely
awesome.
going through it again. So yeah, Paris comic book. I nearly escaped my joy this week, but there you go. So Beth, now can you tell people where they can find us, please?
Yes, you can find us at My Joy, which is
Bendy
last
Podcast.
night. No, I'm telling you what brought me joy because you're skipping
I've
over me.
skimmed past this
No,
thing.
you're fine. He's not into this week, you guys.
Apparently
Um,
not.
so the kids had jujitsu last night, and like we were all leaving, and like the kids are doing sleepovers with me, and it was Charles's night to pick what we watch, and he was
Uh-huh.
like, "I think we should watch Wicked because Harper, you love it so much." And I was like, "That kid
That rocks.
hates that movie, but he loves his sister that much." So
Amazing.
yeah, that's fun.
Love
Okay,
it.
you can find us at bendypodcast.com.
Perfect. Thanks. All right. Can anybody tell I got somewhere I need to be?
He's gotta go. I gotta go.
Right. Okay. All right, folks. Well, we love you, and we'd like to remind you, as always, to
Do it fast.
stay
Stay.
bendy. All right. We love you. Bye bye.